Leviticus chapter 4. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a soul should sin involuntarily before the Lord against any of the Lord's ordinances, which ought not to be done, and does anything against them, even if he should be the anointed priest, and should sin to the detriment of the people, he shall offer to the Lord for the sin he committed a young bull without blemish from the oxen as a sin offering. He shall offer the young bull at the door of the tabernacle of testimony before the Lord, put his hand on the young bull's head, and kill the young bull before the Lord. Then the anointed and consecrated priest shall take some of the young bull's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of testimony. The priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle some of the blood 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil of the holy place. Then the priest shall put some of the blood of the young bull on the horns of the altar of the incense compound before the Lord in the tabernacle of testimony. And he shall pour the remaining blood of the young bull at the base of the altar of whole burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of testimony. He shall take from it all the fat of the young bull as the sin offering, the fat that covers the entrails and all the fat on the entrails, the 2 kidneys and the fat on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the river above the kidneys he shall remove, as it was taken from the young bull of the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them on the altar of burnt offering. But the young bull's hide and all its flesh, with its head and legs, its entrails and excrement, the whole young bull he shall carry outside the camp to a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn it on wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out, it shall be burned. Now if the whole congregation of Israel acts involuntarily in ignorance, and it is hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they did something against any of the Lord's commandments which should not be done, and committed sin, when the sin they committed becomes known, then the assembly shall offer a young bull for the sin, and offer it before the doors of the tabernacle of testimony. Then the elders of the congregation shall put their hands on the head of the young bull before the Lord. The young bull shall then be killed before the Lord. The anointed priest shall bring some of the young bull's blood to the tabernacle of testimony. Then the priest shall dip his finger in the blood of the young bull, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil of the holy place. The priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of the incense compound, which is before the Lord in the tabernacle of testimony. And he shall pour the remaining blood at the base of the altar of burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of testimony. He shall take all the fat from it and offer it on the altar. Then he shall do with the young bull as he did with the young bull of the sin offering. Thus he shall do with it. So the priest shall make atonement for them, and their sin shall be remitted them. Then they shall carry the young bull outside the camp and burn it as they burned the first young bull. It is a sin offering for the assembly. Now if a ruler should sin and do something against any of the commandments of the Lord their God, which should not be done, and commit sin involuntarily, and the sin he committed comes to his knowledge, he shall offer as his gift a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. He shall put his hand on the head of the kid and kill it at the place where they kill the whole burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. The priest shall then take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar of the whole burnt offering, and pour its remaining blood at the base of the altar of whole burnt offering. Then he shall offer all its fat to the altar, like the fat of the sacrifice of the peace offering. So the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his sin, and it shall be remitted him. If any soul of the people of the land should sin involuntarily by doing something against any of the Lord's commandments, which ought not to be done, and commit sin, and the sin he committed comes to his knowledge, then he shall bring a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for the sin he committed. He shall put his hand on the head of his sin offering, and kill the kid of the sin offering at the place of the whole burnt offering. Then the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar of whole burnt offering, and pour all its remaining blood at the base of the altar. He shall remove all its fat, as fat is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offering, and the priest shall offer it on the altar for a sweet aroma to the Lord. So the priest shall make atonement for him, and it shall be remitted him. If he should bring as his gift a sheep for a sin offering, he shall offer a female without blemish. Then he shall put his hand on the head of the sin offering and kill it as a sin offering at the place where they kill the whole burnt offering. The priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, put it on the horns of the altar of whole burnt offering, and pour all its remaining blood at the base of the altar. He shall remove all its fat, as the fat of the sheep is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offering. Then the priest shall put it on the altar for a whole burnt offering to the Lord. So the priest shall make atonement for his sin he committed, and it shall be remitted to him